A very good evening to you. A split setup for us tonight. Freezing and frosty in places as temperatures fall. Mist and fog patches developing, particularly further east. Further west, it's all change, turning increasingly windy and wet come the first stages of tomorrow morning. The lowest temperatures across Scotland and the northeast tonight. Mist and fog developing ahead of these systems rolling in from the west as the week wears on, staying quite blustery, keen and at times gusty winds as rain piles its way in from the mid-Atlantic in already a very wet month, yet more rainfall to come in the next few days. In the meantime, clearer skies across northern and eastern counties will mean dipping temperatures, close to freezing for many central and eastern spots, frosty particularly through parts of Scotland and northern England. And with the moisture in the air, we've got some mist and fog patches developing anywhere across those central and eastern zones into the small hours. Further west, a very different scene into the first stages of tomorrow morning, increasingly windy and wet. Several hours of pouring rain to come, soaking to start the new day, and all of that windy, wet weather transferring its way northwards and eastwards to replace a cold and in places misty, foggy start. Through the course of the day, as that rain works its way into northern Scotland, clearer skies developing, some welcome albeit low November sunshine out there as we head through the afternoon, and frequent blustery downpours get going once more further west. These really quite intense, prolonged and at times thundery, rolling their way in at quite a pace in those blustery, at times gusty winds. Temperatures where you'd expect given the time of year, but all in all, feeling quite chilly out there for many of us. See you soon. The warm and wet weather really goes hand in hand because, of course, mild air can hold more moisture. And we've had a remarkably wet start to the month. In fact, today was no exception. We saw a huge deluge of rain across the bulk of Britain, flooding some train tracks here in Surrey, causing huge amounts of disruption up and down the country. And really, that's no surprise given the very mild air of late. It's been really exceptionally mild through the bulk of Britain in recent weeks, both by day and by night. These are the temperatures you'd normally expect by night this time of year, just 2 or 3 degrees above freezing. This has been the reality, much higher than you'd expect. And the Met Office define autumn as the 3 months of September, October and November. And in this time period, you'd expect around 7 frosty nights on average. That's certainly not the case this year. We've barely seen a widespread frost at all, but that's all set to change into this weekend as temperatures dip. I've got the full forecast for you right now. Well, so much colder as we approach the end of the week as temperatures fall, colder and clearer. In the meantime, business as usual, blustery winds and a good deal of bright weather, but bursts of rain to come. And much of the action rolling in from the mid-Atlantic in the next 24 to 48 hours. A low pressure system bringing gusty winds and yet more wet weather, intense blustery downpours with rumbles of thunder and some hail thrown in for good measure before it settles down towards the weekend. Clearer, calmer and colder with the return of frosty, as well as the chance of some icy nights. Winter hazards for the first time this season. As for the next few hours, the rain from today pulls away from the far north of Scotland, and then hefty downpours get going across the south and the west, waking some of us up before dawn. The rain lashing the window panes with hail and thunder rolled in for good measure. Lots going on. Temperatures nowhere near as low as they could be this time of year, but certainly lower than recent nights. And into tomorrow morning, mixed fortunes. Some welcome, albeit weak, November sunshine and some showers across the far southwest of Scotland. The heavier downpours across the southeast will be intense, prolonged, perhaps thundery, before some steadier rain into the southwest later. Gusty winds to accompany this rain. Once more, a fresh deluge. Otherwise, brighter skies and some lovely sunshine. Highs of 13 or 14 degrees in the south. A little fresher, a little chillier further north. As for the end of the week, more windy, wet weather to come before it turns colder into the weekend. Hello to you again. Yet more wet weather to come as we slide into the second half of the weekend. Rain giving way to brighter skies and blustery showers with longer downpours. After a chilly start to the night across the eastern side of Britain, the rain heads in come the small hours, a soaking here to start the first hours of Sunday. Some short-lived snow, the first snow of the season across the highest ground of the Grampians, can you believe? And behind this, clearer and colder. For many of us, quite a chilly feel to start the new day. After grey, grotty conditions for the first few hours, skies clearing across eastern Britain to reveal Cheerful blue skies. For many of us, welcome, albeit weak, late autumn sunshine as we head through the afternoon, but frequent blustery downpours moving through thick and fast on keen winds. Some of these prolonged and intense with rumbles of thunder as well as some hail. Feeling quite chilly for all of us. Temperatures of 8 or 9 degrees in the north, around 11 or 12 degrees in the south, but those temperatures fitting to the time of year.